Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here today. As always, if you are new here, I want to thank you for stopping by and I appreciate your support. And if you are someone who comes back every week and supports me every week, I thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. I do apologize because I know that this video is a few days late. I did make a community post and I explained that it was my middle son's 25th birthday this past weekend, and we had we had just spent the day together and the whole weekend just kind of relaxing and doing things. Well, hell, who am I kidding? It wasn't relaxing for me because it was baking and cooking for me. Everybody else relaxed, all right? I was in the kitchen, but we had a good time. I had a great time, and he had a great birthday. And thank you for everybody who wished him a happy birthday in the community post. Also, I did make another community post today about a private tarot reading. If you are interested in a private tarot reading, all you have to do is go to that community post. All of the information is there for you. And I will also add my email in the description box. That's all you have to do is just email me and we'll set it up. I try to get to it as soon as I possibly can. So usually turnaround time is a day. Or, depending on when I read it, if it's something that you send me in the morning, I can even try to get it done the same day, but it's usually at least a day's time turnaround. So if you're interested in a private tarot reading, just go ahead and email me and we will get that scheduled for you. All right, so now today is going to be a part 3 to Kylie Rodni. I think that we all have more questions than answers right now, and we're going to get into that. I do want to quickly apologize because I am behind on the requested readings. I do want to do tonight as a part 3 for Kylie, and then my next reading is actually going to be on Julissa Fuentes, and I'm hoping that her case is going to get a little bit more notoriety and more attention. It seems to be picking up a little bit. I'm starting to see some other YouTubers cover the case, and I'm happy about that because everyone deserves all the attention, right? I mean, everybody is somebody, and everyone deserves to have their story out there, and people talking about it and spreading the word and spreading awareness. And so I really do feel like I want to do a reading on Julissa, and I'm hoping to do that this week. I probably won't be able to do it tomorrow, but definitely this weekend will be a reading on Julissa Fuentes. But for tonight, I do have a couple of questions as far as what happened that night at the party with Kylie. Number one, what we're all asking, what we're all wondering is if there's foul play with this. How did Kylie's car end up in Prosser Reservoir? It sounds to me that when she left the party, she should have taken a left instead of a right. And if there was a quote-unquote mass exodus like everybody is saying, then you have all these people, I'm assuming, going out and taking a left. So how does Kylie go out and take a right? If she's in this train of cars leaving at 12:30, I'm just assuming, right? I'm speculating, I'm throwing some things out there, things that I've been thinking about. If everybody is leaving the party at the same time, let's say it has nothing to do with Kylie. Let's say that something went down, whatever. Maybe somebody said the cops were on the way, I don't know. And everybody's like, okay, let's get out of here. And Kylie's in that group of people, and everybody's headed out and they're turning left. So how on earth does she turn right? She did send her mom a text about an hour before, around 11:30, and asked if her curfew could be extended. Mom says yes. She says, okay, thank you, Mom, I love you. Mom has said that she believes that that text message was from Kylie. Now, whether it is or not, I don't know for a fact, but let's say it is. She is coherently texting her mom at 11:30. All right, so if any of you have been inebriated, I have been, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I've been inebriated many a times in my day, and I know that the next day when I go back to look at my stupid text messages, okay, there's letters in there and numbers and all sorts of nonsense type texting, right? You're trying, I'm thinking back to my drinking days, and I'm like, go back and you try to write it again, you delete it, you try to go back, so it's still a mess, right? But she's texting coherently when she texts Mom at 11:30, and then all of a sudden, an hour later, she ends up in the water. And yeah, you can get really messed up in an hour. That's absolutely possible. Depending on what it is, you can absolutely get really messed up in an hour's time. But did she get messed up just by drinking alone, or did something get slipped to her? Did she, I guess it'll just come out hopefully in the toxicology reports. Hopefully it's not, it might be sealed, right? We might not know. She's a minor, and so when they do the autopsy, I don't believe they have to release anything given the fact that she's a minor. I don't know if it's up to the parents or how that works, but I'm hoping that we have answers in the long run. I guess we'll have to just kind of read between the lines, maybe. If we don't ever hear from anything again and there's no investigation, I'll assume that it was deemed an accident. I don't know. If there's an ongoing investigation and we see somebody is arrested in the future, maybe we'll assume that there was foul play. It's hard to tell. I don't know if we're going to get the results of the autopsy. But anyway, so the question is was there foul play, and what was up with this mass exodus? Why were these people leaving at 12:30? Okay, so I'm going to ask that as well. Another question I have, a big question, is how did law enforcement miss her car? Okay, according to local law enforcement, they had divers out there, they had sonar, they had people out on boats, they had helicopters. I think that they were using these little kind of like, I want to say submarines, but they're not like what you're in your mind thinking of a submarine. Literally, when I heard the word submarine, my mind straight away shot to, 500-foot long submarine, and I'm thinking to myself, how did they use a submarine? But it's kind of like this little tiny device, almost like a little robotic type thing, that I believe that they can use it to go onto the bottom of the lake, and it can check the surface. And so I believe, and I can't remember the name of it, but they had that. And with all of those tools, with all of those things, how did they miss Kylie's car 55 feet out and 14 feet down? And another question is was her car there the entire time? In my personal opinion, I think that her car was there the entire time. I do believe that her car was there from day one. I'm just concerned as to how law enforcement missed it. That's actually going to be my first question. Is it negligence, or is it just because they don't have the equipment that, let's say, Adventures with Purpose have, right? It could just be that they don't have the equipment that's needed to see in those conditions. I don't know. I'm not a diver. I don't know anything about diving or doing anything like that. So, maybe visibility, we're probably up here saying, well, how could you miss a whole car down there? And for all we know, it could be impossible to see things down there. I have no idea. So maybe I'm just misjudging or judging incorrectly. And so I do want to ask a couple questions about law enforcement. And then I did have some people ask me if I could pull some cards on Jagger and Kate. Okay, and if you're not familiar, or if you forgot who Kate is the creme brulee girl. And my last reading, I did pull a couple of cards on Mags, and I pulled a couple cards on Sammy. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a couple cards on all four, and then law enforcement as well, and then we'll kind of get into the foul play question. So let's get going. What am I going to use here? Let me go ahead and use the After Tarot for the individuals. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and pull on Jagger first. So I'm going to pull a card on Jagger and a card or two, and then on Kate, and then on Mags, and then on Sammy. All right, so we've got Jagger first. Oh, Jagger came out. Jagger comes out as Death. All right, so this is going to be a changing experience for him. Death is all about transformation. All right, and it was a literal death at that. Okay, so this death that has taken place is kind of the beginning of the next part of his life. It will forever change him. All right, he is definitely going to come out of this a different person. It is definitely going to change him. And I don't necessarily know if it's going to be for the good or for the bad, but it is going to have major impact on his life going forward. So let me pull one more card because that just kind of fell out. All right. The Devil. Damn. Not a good way to start out, Jagger. Jesus. All right, so I just got done saying I don't know if it's going to be a negative or a positive, and then I pull the Devil. So either there's something going on here with Jagger, or this is just going to have negative effects that he may not be able to deal with. All right. I am concerned about him with these two cards coming up because the Devil can sometimes represent addictions. All right. And I hope that he doesn't turn towards addictions to cope with what has happened. I pulled the third card. The third card is the High Priestess. So he is going through some major upheaval right now. Okay. These are three major arcanas that came out for Jagger. This is not necessarily a good feeling. The High Priestess being reversed. High Priestess is that feminine energy. It's also about your intuitions and listening to your gut feeling. This to me makes me feel like he's just out of whack. He is absolutely out of whack right now. Okay, he is not listening to his sensible side. All right, there's something. I'm just not getting a good vibe here for Jagger. And I don't get it in a nefarious type of foul play way either, because I truly, truly don't believe that Jagger was at this party. And I don't know what their relationship was at the time. From what I understand, it seems like they were an ex-couple, but they were still on talking terms. In fact, they were texting each other that very day. I don't think that this is anything to do with him having anything to do with this whatsoever. I think that there is so much devastation from this loss that I feel like he's going to have potentially some problems if he doesn't get some help as to how to deal with this. All right, so I'll put it that way. Let me pull one more card on Jagger. The Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, so to me it's like, instead of this Ace of Pentacles, instead of this piece of fortune or piece of good luck, being handed to you, it's being taken away. All right, it's coming out reverse. So that pentacle to me represents Kylie, in my opinion, and this is just in my opinion. And so instead of Kylie, again, being handed to him, it's being taken away. And I do believe that he is having a very, very, very difficult time accepting this. And I hope and pray that he is able to have the support of his family and mom and dad. I don't know what his situation is, his home life. I don't even know how old he is. I feel like I get this impression that he's a little bit older than Kylie, maybe the 18 range, but I'm not sure. And I feel like that's very, very young to go through something like this. Very, very young, because I do believe in young love. Young love is real, okay? It is real. I am personally married to my young love, okay? Have been for almost 30 years. And so I truly, truly believe in young love. It is real. It is the real thing. And I do believe, and I'm sorry about the sirens, I do believe that Jagger absolutely does love Kylie, and he is going to need the support right now of people around him that care about him and love him. All right, so that's Jagger. Okay, so now let's pull a couple. Well, let me add those back in. All right, so now let's pull on Kate. What's going on with Kate? Okay, let's give this a good shuffle. Okay, Kate. Cut the cards here. Okay, to me, Kate is devastated as well. We've got the Ace of Cups reversed. Again, it's something's being taken away. It's heartbreaking. It's hurting. Very sad. Very sad. Kate. Again, Ace of Pentacles. Something was taken away. The Queen of Wands. Who's the Queen of Wands? I don't think it's Kate. I feel like if, you know, a queen or a king comes up in a young reading like this, it's somebody in their life around them. And in this case, I have to wonder if it is Kate's mom. Okay. And so she is also going to need the support of Kate's mom. Or her mom. Sorry. Her mom. And the Queen of Swords. So this to me makes me feel like mom can sometimes be a little bit harsh. Okay. She can be a little bit cold. Not necessarily mean or cold, but she is, you know, she tells you how it is. It's the Queen of Swords, right? She's not going to go around she's not going to beat around the bushes to tell you something. She's not trying to make you feel good. She's just telling you the truth. That's what the Queen of Swords does. Very intelligent, very smart woman. You know, but there's also that spirit side to her too, that down to earth. And I look at the Queen of Wands as caring and compassionate, not as much as the Queen of Cups, but still caring and compassionate. And I feel like, you know, Kate is going to need that from her mom. She is going to need her mom 100%. Let me just pull one more card on Kate and see what's going on. All right, the Three of Pentacles reversed. So that's a group. That's a group of three. That's to me a friend group, really. But in this particular deck, okay, it's the after tarot, so it's after the main scene that we're all used to seeing, which is three people. In this deck, the job is done. They've been working on that statue. They worked as a team, all right? They all worked on it together, but we've got one lone person here kind of standing back and looking at the job well done, okay? He's kind of just, you know, enjoying the work, enjoying the outcome of the work. He's put in the work, and now he can kind of look back at it and feel proud, but it's coming out reversed. And so remember, it used to be three people, now it's one. And I'm looking at all that black in the background. It's almost like the lights turned off, and there's two people missing. So I feel like Kate, you know, to me, the friend group, all right, I don't know if there's a third person that was close, maybe Mags. I don't know who the best friend was. You know, I don't know if Kylie was closer to Mags than Kate, or Kate to Mags, or if it was the same. I have no idea. But I feel like this is a friend group that has just been, you know, the light has turned off, all right? There's one missing. There's one missing now, all right? And I feel like that's exactly how Kate is feeling right now. She is feeling very, very sad, and, you know, something has been taken away from her, and she's going to need to lean on whoever this female presence is in her life. I feel like it's her mom. All right, so one member of the group has been taken away, which is so sad. It's so devastating. Such a sad outcome. God. All right, so now let's pull a couple of cards on Mags. All right, Mags. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and cut them again. Pull this one on the top. We've got the King of Pentacles reversed for Mags. The Moon, interesting. Temperance reversed, very interesting. Let's pull the bottom. The Ace of Pentacles reversed. So the Ace of Pentacles again. With the Ace of Pentacles reversed, I do feel like there is a loss. You know, there's a loss of someone that is close to you, okay? Someone was taken away. That has come up now on all of them, I think. I think it came up on Kate as well as or was it the Ace of Cups reversed? But it's almost the same. I don't feel like there's anything here that's coming up nefarious, all right, as far as these three so far. So we did Jagger, Kate, and now Mags. This is Mags. Again, I feel like there's feelings of being alone, feelings of being even abandoned maybe. These are young kids, okay, young adults. I don't know if any of them have had to deal with death. And like I said, it's very shocking. Even when it's expected, it's even more shocking when it's unexpected. When I lost my dad 15 years ago, he was 85. He had me when he was quite old. He was 57 when I was born. So when he passed away, he was 85, and he was in a nursing home. He wasn't doing very well, and so it was kind of almost expected in a way, but it was so shocking and devastating to me when it actually did happen. I could not believe it. I was numb the first day. I didn't cry at all the first day. I was functioning. I was just very very shocked, but it didn't come out until a couple of days later, and it lasted for a decade. It was the most horrible experience that I've ever went through in my life. And it sent me on a roller coaster of issues, throughout my 30s. And I was 30 when he passed away. So, these are young people. This is their friend that they spoke to, that they seen that day, the day before. They were texting her. They were at the party with her. They were, hanging out with her. And all of a sudden now she's gone. And it was one thing when she was missing, because when she was missing, unless there was some foul play and they knew of something, but I'm not getting anything like that with these three. When she was missing, for all they knew, she was still alive, right? They were hoping that she was alive, but now they know, and so now it's confirmed, and it's devastating and shocking. And so I feel like Mags is in the same boat as Kate and Jagger. Feelings of, just being, that temperance, to me, it's just, it reversed, it's just devastating. There's an imbalance there. There's a hole in your heart, and I do feel like that way for Mags as well. Now, with the moon coming out, sometimes the moon is secrets, right? We all know that the moon is something that is, what happens in the dark is discovered in the light, right? So, is there something? Is there something that's going to come out? Is there something that she knows and she hasn't said yet? Is there something that, maybe she didn't have a part of it, but maybe there's something there that she has yet to say? Maybe with that moon. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So again, all of these kids to me have to, all of them so far have had a parent, in my opinion. They've had a parent come up in their reading. All right. So I feel like whatever is going on, with them emotionally, they're going to need the support of others around them that care about them and love them. And, if that's their parent, that's their parent. If it's somebody else, I don't know, but I feel like they all need that extra support right now. For Mags, though, the King of Pentacles is coming out reversed, and so I don't know if this is a person who is not typically the understanding and compassionate type, and maybe she feels extra alone, which is why she's standing there in the moon card by herself. So maybe Mags doesn't have the support system that's ideal. All right. Let me pull one more card here on the moon. Can we get a clarity on the moon? All right, the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands to me represents battles, right? These are spiritual battles. Those battles represent things that this person has went through, all sorts of different things, internally, externally. But these are things that they've went through and they've conquered them. But she hasn't conquered them. It's coming out reversed. All right, she hasn't conquered them yet. She's still in the midst of it. She's still dealing with it. And then there's two people there. All right, so there's two people standing there, and they obviously look like they've been in a fight. They've, I mean, this one here has got a head wound there, a bandage, and this guy here has blood on his sleeves. And so you could literally look at this like a fight, all right? Or you could look at it as, I've been through some shit, and I've come out, wounded here and there, but I'm still standing, right? So it could represent that at this point in time, this could be literally an emotional, spiritual card as far as Mags is concerned. Perhaps she feels at this point that she's not going to get through this, all right? Hence the fact that it's reversed. She may absolutely just be completely devastated and just doesn't know how she's going to emotionally cope with this, with what's happened. But with Mags, I feel like there's a little something going on with that moon, okay? I'm getting a just a little tinge here about the moon, okay? Let me pull one more. Let me pull one more card. The Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is all about walking away, all right? We have this guy here in the background. He's turned his back on these cups. He's leaving them. He's walking away. So this actually might be guilt. Okay, Mags could really be feeling like she left Kylie at this party. She abandoned her. She turned her back on her. She left her. She knew her friend was drinking and was going to have to drive home. If that's the case, if she was drinking. So it could be that, or it could be something else. It could be literally walking away from her, knowing what happened. Does Mags know what happened to Kylie? Does Mags know what happened to Kylie? Does Mags know what happened to Kylie at the party? We've got the Two of Cups. The Hierophant reversed. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let me take this other stuff off so we can see what we're doing here. And let me leave the moon up. Alright, so we have the moon. We have the Two of Cups. The Eight of Cups. And the Sun card reversed. Alright, so the Sun and the Moon. The Moon is upright, the Sun's reversed. Yeah. And then we've got this relationship. Now, the Two of Cups doesn't always have to be a relationship. It can be a bond between two people. It can be a friendship. Alright, this could very well just represent a friendship. However, we know the story that Mag says, and that's she went to the party. She was only there for 10 minutes and she ended up leaving with her boyfriend. Is this guilt? I am kind of feeling like we're leaning more towards guilt for leaving. Okay, guilt for leaving with the boyfriend. That's how I'm looking at this. Walking away, turning her back on her. So I feel like there's something a little different about Mags's reading than Jagger and Kate. I feel like I'm picking up a little bit more a guilty feeling, and a feeling of I abandoned my friend. I walked away. I turned my back on her. All right. I really feel like this person here is Kylie, and I feel like this is Mags back here. And what is she doing? She's holding a cup, and there's cups down here that are spilled. And I feel literally like these cups represent drink. So I do feel like there is some validity to the drinking. Now, if that's what made her drive off the road, I don't know yet, but I do feel like there was drinking. There was at least drinking, and I feel like Mags feels guilty for leaving. And where did she go? She left with the boyfriend. All right, she left with the boyfriend, and she turned her back pretty much on Kylie. All right, and then the Sun reversed is, the results of what happened. I also pulled, let me see, the Hierophant reversed. So again, I think that there's a little bit of embarrassment as well, because what is the Hierophant? That's sometimes, society as a whole. It represents society as a whole, and it's coming out reversed. So I have a feeling that Mags has a little bit of well, not a little bit, but she has guilt. She has guilt herself, but she's also worried about the image of how she left her friend at this party. You arrive with your friend at this party and you're not even there for 10 minutes and you leave with your boyfriend. You know your friend's probably drinking. You know your friend's got to drive home. And I think that it's really weighing on her as to how she's coping with it herself and how we're all looking at it, right? How the world is looking at it. Everybody is like, wow, how did they leave their friend in this state? If they knew she was this bad, how could they just leave her and not make sure that she got home, right? And I feel like that's bothering her as well. That's weighing on her. So there's a little bit of the being angry and having guilt herself, but also worried about that image of leaving her friend too. Okay, so Mags was a little bit of a different reading. All right, so now we're gonna pull a couple cards on. Sammy. All right, so Sammy, what do we got for Sammy? All right, Sammy, what do we got for Sammy? Sammy. Okay, let's go ahead and cut the cards again. Wheel of Fortune reversed. King of Swords. Take the bottom one. We've got Temperance. This time Temperance is upright. The Nine of Pentacles. Let me pull one more here. And then the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. Doesn't that represent Sammy to the T? Not just the Page of Swords, but the Page of Swords reverse. This is somebody who doesn't have the skill of speaking yet. All right? This is somebody who thinks they have the skill of speaking and communicating, but they don't. Okay? The Page is young. And this is a person who overthinks her abilities, all right? This is definitely, this could not be more spot on to represent Sammy. It literally could not, especially with it coming out reversed. When I see the Page of Swords, I think of somebody who is inexperienced, doesn't always have to be young. It could be just inexperience in something, but they don't think of it as inexperienced. They think they're experienced. They think that they know what they're doing. And so to me, that is Sammy. What are the swords? That's air. That's thoughts, consciousness, communications, things like that. So she thinks she is smarter than everyone else. All right. She thinks that what she's doing is the right thing to do in her mind. She's saying the right things in her mind. She doesn't have the capability of seeing what her words and thoughts and actions, she doesn't have the capability of actually seeing how they look or appear to everybody. Okay, she just doesn't have that experience yet. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Swords, Dad. I think, honestly, in my opinion, she probably takes, and this is weird, because, I've heard that her mother's a lawyer, but her dad's coming out as a sword too. So I feel like she takes after her dad more than she does her mother. But her dad, obviously, he has, he's experienced more life and he kind of knows what he's doing, whereas she does not. But I feel like there's a little bit of her dad in her, and, I think that's the personality wise, she kind of just gets that from Dad. I don't necessarily know if I think that Nine of Pentacles is Mom. I'm not sure, but this time we have Temperance, so we do have balance. We have everything is A-okay, so that's weird, because I would expect it to not be upright in a reading in this situation. I'm not seeing, what am I not seeing? It's almost strange. Oh, okay, hold on. It's Interesting what didn't come up in Sammy's reading. And what didn't come up in Sammy's reading is sadness, hurt, pain, feelings of having something taken away. We've managed to pull all those cards, all of those cards, at least one of those cards came out on everybody in this reading, but they didn't come out on Sammy. The Temperance actually came out before, but it came out reversed. This time it's coming out upright, okay? So there's nothing to me out of whack as far as what's going on in Sammy's life. I'm not picking up any stress vibes. The only thing close to that would be that Wheel of Fortune reversed, all right? And so this kind of tells me that, you know, things aren't going the way she had hoped or the way she had planned. I think it's just going to get harder for Sammy. I really do. There's something always to me about the Wheel of Fortune that looks like a clock. The clock is ticking. That's all I can say. The clock is ticking. Okay, the clock is ticking. There's something here. There's something here with Sammy. There's something here with Sammy and time. The clock, the time. There's something with her in the time. We've got Dad. We've got the time. We've got her, you know, thinking she's everything. And then Nine of Pentacles reversed. Nine of Pentacles reversed. Who is the Nine of Pentacles? Let me pull another card for that one. The Ace of Wands reversed. The Ace of Wands reversed. Let me pull one more. I'm not sure about that Ace of Wands because, yeah, okay, that's bothering me. All right. First of all, when I seen the Nine of Pentacles reversed, it's like disappointment, right? It's like the Nine of Pentacles is what you know, you want that card to be upright. That's you know, being content, being blessed, having, you know, what you need, showing gratitude for it, but it's reversed. So it's like, think of the opposite. And then when I pulled the Ace of Wands, I'm almost thinking like, okay, was this a plan that went wrong? Was this something that, you know, maybe how, now it doesn't mean that what happened with Kylie was a plan. It could be just the response, all right? Maybe, you know, Sammy's thinking in her mind, okay, that didn't turn out well. I thought that people were going to think that I was, you know, this, that, or this, and it ended up being the exact opposite. So things are not turning out the way I had hoped. Things are just going backwards. I'm not making any headway. I make a post and I get all this hate about it, and you know, people are bashing me on social media and everybody's talking about me online. It's just not going the way I thought it was going to go. So that's how I feel about those two cards. What I don't like is the Magician coming out reversed, because to me this is manipulation. This is not good. All right, I don't like the Magician reversed. I feel like this is a person that is willing to do anything it takes to get what they want, including lie, cheat, steal, no matter what. And I just, with those three cards and the rest of these cards, I don't get a good vibe from Sammy. I don't get a good vibe from Sammy. She is the only person that I've drawn this many cards on. I don't think I drew this many cards on anybody else because I wanted to give her a fair chance. I wanted to see what came out. And what's not coming out are the cards that I would want or expect to see, and those are all of the sad cards. Those are the cards that you would think would come out representing somebody who just lost a friend. I'm not getting those cards for Sammy. All right, I'm getting something completely different, and I don't like it. And she's manipulative, in my opinion, with that Magician reversed. She can be very manipulative. She likes things to go her way. When she doesn't get her way, you know, she's not a happy camper. Very interesting on that one. Okay, I'm going to switch decks here really quick, and I want to ask if Sammy, well, I want to ask if there's any foul play. let's just get to the chase. Is there any foul play in this case? Is there foul play in what happened to Kylie Rodni? Was this a play or was this an accident? Alright, is there foul play or is this an accident? Kylie Rodni. Okay, the King of Cups fell out. Queen of Wands reversed, fell out. The Moon, which is a different moon. Death. The Eight of Swords. Very different. By different, I mean different from what I'm usually seeing. This is for those of you who are new here, this is a fairly new deck. I've only used this deck a couple of times, and so these images are very different from what I'm usually used to seeing for these particular cards. This is a different moon card for me. Alright, I get a totally different vibration. I actually got this on my first reading for Kylie, and I felt like there was something going on with that play fighting that Sammy spoke of. I felt like this was kind of a duel-like card. You know, it's two people getting ready to face off. That's the way I'm kind of looking at that. I mean, of course, in a different way, you could look at this as your shadow self, but I don't think so. I'm looking at this as two individuals facing off with each other. And then we do have death. We have literal death. I really do take it literally tonight because of the situation. And then we also have the Eight of Swords, which isn't a very positive light card as well. You know, we got these swords going into this person who's laying in a coffin. Just these two cards here, and then this duel. And the King of, what is this? The King of Cups. Interesting about this King of Cups. It's not like any other King of Cups I've ever seen. It has all these other people in this card. It doesn't even look like a court card. It looks like a regular suit card, right? It looks like a gathering. It looks like a party. It looks like people are, you know, hanging around and you know, having a drink and talking and doing whatever it is they're doing. You know, when I ask if there's foul play, I feel like this card in particular is saying that there are people that at the very least know what happened. And they're not saying. They know what happened. They're keeping quiet, because if you notice, nobody has their mouth open at this table. No one has their mouth open. Well, no, I take that back. There is this guy here, right? But he's being taken out. They're dragging him out. He has his mouth open, so he's being dragged out by this monster or whatever it is. So it's interesting that none of them have their mouth open except for this guy, and he's being taken out. I feel like there are people that seen what happened that night, and they're not saying. And if they think about saying something, then there's going to be some consequences. Now, I don't know what those consequences are, could be, but there's going to be consequences. Now, if I look at this guy down here, he actually looks scared. He looks concerned. So there's something with this guy here that bothers me with his face. He doesn't look like he's happy to be there. There's a couple of people at this table that don't look very happy to be here. There's a couple that are smiling, but, you know, for the most part, they're not talking. They're not speaking. And so this to me represents the people at this party. Not everybody, but a small group of people at this party, I feel, know exactly what happened. And that could be the extent of the foul play. It's not that maybe they were responsible, but also at the very least knew what had happened. All right. And, you know, just left her because I feel like they're just sitting there. They're not saying anything, but they know something. They know something. And then we have the Queen of Wands reversed. We've got a little dog. Look at how she's holding her wand. Well, it's a candle. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the light things. What was it? The glow sticks that Sammy talked about, how they had glow sticks at the party and they were throwing them into the party. That's a glow stick, in my opinion. That's a glow stick. That's somebody holding a glow stick. And we've also got a dog. We've got a little tiny dog over here. So I don't know if that means anything, but to me that's a glow stick. So there's some importance of a glow stick in this case. I don't know what, but there's something. And this woman, it's kind of weird, but she has one eye open and one eye closed. I don't know if you can see that, but there's one eye open and one eye closed. So what do we got here? We've got a dog. There was a dog. There was a dog buried, right? There was recently, I don't know if any of you have been following Ryan Upchurch. I do like him. I find it very interesting. If you don't know anything about Ryan Upchurch, I suggest you go to his channel and watch a couple of his videos, because he's got some really crazy things going on right now. And I am not a big believer in coincidences, so when he connects dots and is talking about all these coincidences, those things bother me. Like I said, I don't believe in coincidences, and so I think he's bringing up some valid points. And he mentions a dog. He mentions a dog in one of his videos. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to go into it, but he mentions a dog, and we do know that there were remains of a dog found prior to them finding Kylie, right? When they were looking, they found remains of a dog. Is there some importance to that dog, or is this another dog? I don't know. But I feel like there's something here with this woman. I think it was it reversed? There's something here with this woman with the glow stick, the dog, and the one eye open and the one eye closed. One eye open and one eye closed. And then we've got this duel. Right? We've got this face-off. It's a face-off is what it is. We've got that play fighting. All right. Is anybody involved in Kylie's death? Was this an accident, or was this done intentionally? More specifically, is this an accident, or was it done intentionally? Seven of Pentacles. I feel like there was an accident. I really do. I don't feel like there was anything done intentionally. That Seven of Pentacles is things not working out the way you anticipated, is what it is. And I feel like whatever happened, it wasn't like premeditated. Okay? Something happened. Something went down. It wasn't anything good. It happened. But the response maybe wasn't the right response. Okay? So she's standing there and she's kind of talking to him, and she's kind of, you know, motioning with her hands. That to me is, you know, somebody who is possibly a male and a female, and maybe this female is taking the lead since she's the one standing up, and so she's the one that's trying to come up with this, you know, plan. Was there a plan? She's the one that's running the show. Who is that female? Who is this female that's saying, hey, you know what, this is what happened, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we got to deal with it. Nobody's going to say anything, and we're going to keep it hush hush, and this is it. This is final. This is what we're going to do. Who is that woman? Okay, is this Sammy? Is this Sammy? What does Sammy have any role in what happened to Kylie? Does she have any role in what happened to Kylie? Sammy Smith have any role in what happened to Kylie? Ace of Pentacles. Damn. That's like a bullseye. The Eight of Wands. Oh my God, Jesus. Let me take these other ones off and focus on these three. Alright, so as far as the foul play, I do feel like there's something here that's not right. There's something here that's not right in this case. But there's clues. There's clues. All right, because that Nine of Pentacles reversed, that glow stick, that dog, that one eye open and one eye, there's clues. Those are clues in my opinion. Something's not right here. That Ace of Pentacles, when I ask if Sammy has anything to do with it, now this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's my interpretation of the cards, right? It's a tarot reading, so I'm not, whatever, I'm not accusing or anything. I'm just saying that Ace of Pentacles for that question is like a hard yes. All right, aces to me are hard yeses. They're reversed, it's different, but this is not reversed. This is upright, and it's a star. It's like a bullseye. So to me, when that comes up for the question that I had, that's concerning. We have communication. All right, the Eight of Wands. Who was the person that was the head communicator in this situation? Who came out? Who came out talking to the media, doing interviews? She's on social media. So just think about that. She's the one that's in charge of the communication. All right, she's the one, and she's doing it in all sorts of ways. And then we have this one here, which is the Ten of Wands. And I don't like this one. This card came out in my first reading on Kylie, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it was the first indication that I had that she was in the water. And I don't like the way he looks while he's going in the water, and I don't like how those people in that boat are just standing by and they're watching. And that makes me feel like there is, at least, at the very least, knowledge of what happened. Maybe not responsible for it completely, but they are in a certain way responsible, because perhaps they watched it happen and they didn't say anything or they didn't do anything, and that could very well be the mass exit, or the mass exodus. So I don't like this card. Okay, I really don't. Interestingly enough, this is the card that attracted me to the deck, but I don't like this. I like the card, I just don't like it in this reading. So I'm looking at those people in that boat, and they're watching this person sink, and this person doesn't look happy. They're watching this person go down, and this person is trapped to that box. He's tied to that box. All right, so there's it looks like it was done intentionally. I don't get the feeling that it was done intentionally. I mean, I hope not, but I feel like at least people were aware of it. What was the mass exodus about? What was that about? Why were people leaving this party? Why were people leaving this party in such a large group? Why were people leaving this party in such a large group? Ace of Swords. What does that Ace of Swords mean? That's the reason right there. There was a reason. That Ace of Swords tells me that there was at least a reason. It wasn't just random that they all decided to leave. There was a specific reason why they chose to leave. All right, what is it? The Nine of Swords. Something bad happened. Something bad happened. Justice. I feel like it's going to come out. I really do. I feel like it's going to come out in the end. I think that the law enforcement is aware of something. I think that they also have a feeling of there's some fishiness going on here. To me, these two cards represent that there was actually a reason behind that leaving, that mass exodus. I believe that the mass exodus did happen, number one, and it happened for a reason, and the reason isn't good. All right, that nine of swords is not a good card. All right, they seen something. Look at how he's looking out the window. He shot up and he's looking out the window. It's like it just came in and it happened. It was a bolt of lightning. All right, it was unexpected and people didn't expect to see it. Whatever it was, they shot up and they started looking at it. They were watching it and they got the hell out of there. What's he looking at out his window? That's what they seen. Okay, and I feel like they're still bothered by it today, and so I have to wonder if they actually seen Kylie going in the water. Did anybody see Kylie going into the water? Did anybody see Kylie going into the water? Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. We've got a trail. We've got a trail going down to the water. We've got a person walking down there looking. I feel like at least one person, I would say, I feel comfortable saying at least one person seen what happened. Anybody see Kylie go in the water? Yeah, I do feel like the party goers, there's at least a couple of party goers that, if not more, because I believe that something happened at that party, and we know that Kylie ended up deceased from that party. So definitely we know something happened at that party, but I do feel like there were witnesses. I don't believe that no one seen or heard anything. I think that there was definitely I think definitely some people seen what happened. Did Kylie go into the water on her own, or did someone put Kylie and her car into the water? Did Kylie go into the water on her own? Seven of Cups. It's a hot air balloon. Seven of Cups, a hot air balloon. We've got clouds. She very well could have went into the water on her own. Just being, that Seven of Cups to me is, a cloudy mind. That's a cloudy head. All right, and she could very well have had clouded judgment at that time. Now, is it because of just drinking, or was something given to her? Was Kylie given anything to disorient her? Was she given anything? Was she given any type of drug or something like that? The King of Swords. Who's that King of Swords? He has popped up throughout this reading tonight, hasn't he? Who's the King of Swords, and what does he have to do with giving Kylie something? Who's the King of Swords, and what does he have to do with it? The King of Wands. Immediately I feel like the word that comes to my mind, or the words that come to my mind, are drug dealer. Okay, an older gentleman, possibly a couple of older gentlemen, there potentially distributing something that could have been a little bit more dangerous than anybody anticipated. Was Kylie given something, or did Kylie take something? Six of Pentacles. Wow. I feel like this picture here is Kylie. I really do. I feel like this is Kylie. And when I asked if Kylie was given something, we have this man here that doesn't look very friendly, right? He looks like he has a purpose. And he's loading up the scales. They're even right now, but he's getting ready to drop that pentacle down on this scale here next to Kylie. He's getting ready to put that one down. There's another one here. He's already distributed whatever this was, and he's getting ready to give it to Kylie too. So I do believe that she was given something. I do think she was given something, because remember, she texts her mom at 11:30, and like I said, yes, you can get really messed up in an hour, but I just don't feel like that's the case. I don't feel like this is just an alcohol thing. I feel like that pentacle represents some form of drug. I do believe that she was given something. I have a feeling that she was driving her car, and she did end up driving into the water, but it was because she was not in her right state of mind. Okay, she was very, very disoriented. He's going up in a hot air balloon, so very, very high, right? Very high on something. There's something here that there to me, those cups, all those chalices here that are filled with something, they're filled with something different. Each one has something inside of it. But this one here, this one looks kind of important. It's got like that ball there, and it's all lit up. there's something to me, that one here and this one here to me are one and the same. All right, so there was something that to me was given to her that changed her state of mind, and I think that it really messed her up. It messed her up to the point to where, yeah, I think that she ended up driving herself into that water, and I believe that very well could be why there was this mass exodus, because I think people heard it. I really do. I think that you would hear something like that. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I have to wonder. I mean, I don't know if there was music playing out there, so that's another thing to take into consideration. People could be, playing their car radios, so maybe you would hear it. I'm thinking you would hear it, but I feel like at the very least people observed this. They at least there's a couple of people that seen it go down. And there's some guilt that's coming up, I think, in some of the earlier readings with the individuals, especially in Mags. Now, again, it could be just because of the fact that she left with her boyfriend, or it could be something else, or a combination of the two. But I feel like, for sure, for this particular question, Kylie was given something. She was definitely given something. In my opinion. Okay, so if something comes out, if we do hear, the results of the toxicology report, hopefully we do. I don't know, I don't know if I said this earlier, but with her being a minor, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna find out, but if we do find out something, I wouldn't be surprised if there's gonna be something in her system other than alcohol and weed. Okay. Okay, let me just ask Kylie, is there anything else that you'd like to say about that night? Anything else that you'd like to say about that party that night? Would you like to tell us anything? Anything at all? The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. Who is the Knight of Pentacles? You know who the Knight of Pentacles is? Hold on a second. What the hell did I just do with the card I had? The Knight of Pentacles is this guy. The guy who was doing the distributing. Okay? Or at least working with this guy. To me, I feel like she is saying that she was given something. This was offered to her. Something was offered to her. We've got another dog, we've got another cat, or a cat and another dog. We've got money on the floor, or on the ground. So this is somebody who likes to show off. This is somebody who likes to, show off what he has. Okay, he's got money coming out of his pockets, and it's odd because he's just a knight. Okay, you would kind of expect that maybe from a king of pentacles to, but this is kind of, I'm looking at him as kind of a show-off guy. He's got the top hat, he's all dressed up. So this is a person who likes to have nice things. This is a person who has a nice car. He's going to wear nice clothes, the best clothes. He's coming in there like he has everything. He's flashy. He's very flashy. That's what I take from this card. He's the one that's coming in with whatever it is that he was handing out. Okay? And whatever it was not good. Alright, what would you like to say about this party? What happened, Kylie? Tell us what happened. Tell us anything that you wanna share with us. Three of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. The Three of Wands. So we've got three. We've got the number 3 coming up. Ten of Pentacles reversed. Look at all these pentacles. I feel like the pentacles in this case don't represent money per se. I feel like they represent the drugs that were at this party. The Hierophant reversed. Let's pull one more. And we've got, what is this? The Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands reversed. Let me look at this Ace of Wands. We've got another glow stick. Got another glow stick. I don't know why the glow sticks are coming out. I feel like this is a glow stick. Something going on with the glow sticks. I don't know. So again, we've got another pentacle, and I feel like she's literally saying that this was something that was given to me, not just to her, but potentially to at least 2 other people. Okay, or at least offered, but I feel like they were given. And then that third one to me is Kylie. And for whatever reason, is there something there that was there, like fentanyl, or something else? Maybe something was laced. Maybe I don't know why it would have. I don't know. Somebody else could have got. I wonder if anybody else got sick. I wonder if anybody else got really messed up after that party. I mean, somebody else could have been ill, or sick. I don't think anybody per se died, or else you would think that we would have heard about it. But fentanyl's pretty deadly. I'm not thinking it's something like that. I'm thinking it's something else. Not necessarily something that would kill you, but something that would really mess you up enough to where if you got behind the wheel of a car that you are not going to be able to function. And look at how this person is giving this. Okay, and then look at these two. It's like they're kind of looking at it like, oh God, are you really going to do that? Are you really going to give that to this person? Or, oh my God, are you really giving it to him? And he's just like, yeah. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to him and see what happens. It's almost like I get that vibe from it. Okay, that's, at first I'm thinking 3 people were given it, or whatever. There were 3 people that took this substance, at least 3 people. But I'm actually kind of looking at, I don't know. I might have to pull a clarifier on that one. All right, the 3 of Wands, and then I'm going to end this because I know I'm over an hour. But the 3 of Wands reverse tells me that for my interpretation, that this was not something that was planned. This was something that was spur of the moment. It just happened. It literally came out. It was like a storm that came out of nowhere. Look at that storm. Look at that funnel there. It just came out of nowhere. This is, to me, when it's upright, a planning and a preparation kind of a card. And so the fact that it's coming out reversed tells me that it probably wasn't planned. It's nothing that was premeditated or anything like that. It just kind of happened. It was devastating. It happened, and it had devastating and lasting effects for a lot of people, mainly Kylie and her family. But I don't think it was something that was premeditated. It just happened, and as tragic as it is, it just happened. The 10 of Pentacles reversed. For some reason, the map is sticking out to me. Okay, so there's something about that map. Now, so far in this reading, for me anyways, these pentacles have represented drugs. Okay, so I feel like there's some keys here. There's something, that map to me, it's like a treasure chest map, right? That's what it looks like, a treasure chest map. But the treasure chest is empty. There's nothing in there. So to me, it kind of is saying that there's something there that I don't know if they've found it yet, or if they have it, or if they're still looking, or they will find it, but there's something there. There's a piece of information that's like evidence that can lead them to the distributor of these drugs, or this drug, whatever it is. There's something there. With it being reversed, I don't necessarily know if they have it yet, but there is something to me out there that can say, okay, hey, there's a lead. There's a lead somewhere. There's some evidence that they could follow that would lead them back to who is responsible for bringing, drugs. If there was something there that was deadly or harmful to that extent, I think that they could find that person. I think that they could find the originator, okay, where it came from. And then we have the Hierophant reversed. So again, we've got a mummy, we've got a tombstone, we've got a pyramid in the background. And when I see something like a mummy, to me, that's a person that's a person who's hiding their identity. They're hidden. They're wrapped up. Okay, you can't see who it is. You can't tell who the person is. They're literally wrapped up from head to toe. Okay, and it's coming out reversed. Now it is the Hierophant, so I kind of feel like this is the person that's responsible. I feel like Kylie's saying, hey, there was somebody there that was not good. There was somebody that brought these drugs into this party, and they were distributing it, and it just blew this party up, and it was devastating. That's what I feel like she's saying. I feel like there were drugs there. There were dangerous drugs there. More so, if there's one thing I believe Sammy on, it's the drug situation. But unfortunately, I also feel like somebody seen what happened. Somebody seen what happened to Kylie. I think that there were witnesses to it. And that is part of some of the guilt on some of the people that I read on earlier in this reading. We've got 4 people here in this Ace of Wands. 4 people. Because we have 4 notebooks and we have 4 pens. So who are the 4 people? I feel like specifically at least 3 or 4 people are aware of what happened that night. They know what happened that night, and they're not speaking. Okay, they're not speaking. They're not speaking, they're not writing, they're not talking, they're not communicating what happened that night. That's why the pens are down. All right, the pens are down, and to be honest with you, I don't see anything written down in the notebook. So they're quiet. They're sticking together. They're quiet. They're not going to talk. I don't know what's going to make them talk. I don't know if they will talk, but I feel like there's at least 3 or 4 people that are close that know what happened to Kylie that night and possibly even seen it. However, we do have justice that came up in this reading tonight. So I'm going to end it here, guys. It's almost like it needs another reading. I could probably go on for another 2 hours and pull cards with all the cards on the table here, but I won't do that to you guys. But I do feel like there is foul play here. I feel like people did see what happened to Kylie. At least a handful of people that seen what happened to Kylie. Word could have gotten around. That could potentially be why people were leaving at 12:30, the mass exodus that everybody talks about. I do feel like Kylie was drinking, but I don't think that she was inebriated enough to drive into the water. I think there was something else in her system that made her that way. Something really, really fogged up her mind. She was really, really out of it. All right, that hot air balloon. I'm thinking of that hot air balloon, high. Very, very, very high, higher than ever she has ever been in her life. There's something there that was not right in her mind. Something was given to her. Whether she took it willingly, I don't know, but there was something given to her. There were people at this party that came in, and it was like a dark cloud. It was like a dark cloud on this party. I believe that. I do believe that there were a couple people that came in and just, ruined this. What was supposed to be just, a fun night, whatever. I know that they were drinking and, doing probably smoking, but this brought it to another level of darkness. Okay, whoever this person is or these guys were, it was a different level that they brought to the party, and that's horrific. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. So the next reading, I am going to try to be reading on, is it Julissa Fuentes, I think. Hopefully I'll get that one done this weekend. But I thank you guys. If you made it to the very end of this, I really thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And again, I'm sending out all of my prayers of strength and healing to Kylie and her family, her mom, her dad, her stepdad. I think she has a stepdad, her grandpa. I cannot even fathom what they are going through right now, so my heart just aches for them. And I hope that there is justice in this case, and we have answers as to what happened that night. I think people know. I think people know what happened that night. All right, guys. So I will see you in the next video. Have a great evening. Bye.